Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Learn Academic English, where I teach intermediate and advanced level English lessons for people who want to take their English to the next level. In today's lesson, I'm giving a short grammar presentation about a very common but kind of tricky grammar point, which is how to use "if I were you" to give advice. So let's take a look first at the structure of this "if I were you" grammar. It is a hypothetical conditional. And what do I mean by hypothetical? Hypothetical means that we are imagining or thinking about a situation that is not true or probably will never happen. So "if I were you" is a good example of a hypothetical because I am not you and I never will be you. So it's hypothetical. It's also a conditional, and we're going to have an if clause here. For example, if I were you, I would look for a new job. So this would be a situation in which my friend is complaining about her job, and I can just say, if I were you, I would look for a new job. Very common way to give advice. Now notice here that we have two clauses with subject and verb, and if we have the dependent clause first, we're going to put a comma, and we're going to use I with were. That's tricky for some people because usually they want to use I was, but because it is this hypothetical conditional, we use were. And that's just something that you have to memorize. It is a little strange, but that is the grammar for this. And then in the second one, you are going to use would plus the base form. Now also notice that we can flip the clauses and we can say, I would look for a new job if I were you. In that case, there would be no comma. Let's see how we can use this grammar to give advice. So this is a situation in which my friend and I are speaking. Maybe my friend wants to go to a party, but she's not sure. So she asks for my advice. She says, what should I do? Or, if you were me, what would you do? And I can answer, if I were you, I wouldn't go. Or, I wouldn't go if I were you. Let's take a look at some examples and you can practice. Let's do a quick practice with some examples. So in this situation, you're going to imagine that your friend asks for your advice about learning English. She says to you, I really want to learn English, but I don't know what to do. What should I do? Or if you were me, what would you do? So you can answer, if I were you, I'd think about my goals. So notice here that we can use the contraction form, I would, I'd think about. I would read for 20 minutes every day. So in this example, I actually dropped the first clause, and that happens sometimes. We know that the meaning is there, but sometimes we just drop it and say, I would read for 20 minutes every day. If I were you, I would learn grammar step by step. I'd keep a vocabulary notebook if I were you. So here, notice that I flipped the order of the clauses. This is not as common, but it is possible. No comma if we do that. If I were you, I'd watch a series in English every day. If I were you, I would choose which type of English I want to learn, American or British or another kind. If I were you, I would choose a favorite YouTuber and watch their videos. If I were you, I would listen to native speakers and try to catch the expressions that they use. If I were you, I would find some friends to practice English with. If I were you, I would try to travel to an English-speaking country and immerse myself in the language. I hope that this video helped you to know how to use "if I were you" to give advice. I will leave some examples in the description box below, as well as a link to my other grammar lessons if you would like to learn more. Don't forget to give this video a like, leave a comment, and make sure that you're subscribed. And I will see you next time. Take care.